Mr. Allen, we wanted to ask you to describe your memories of Mr. Procter, and if you would first tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 89 years old, and I was born and raised right across the tracks if you go straight over. And that's where I used to see Mr. Procter coming down Albion. It was like the president when I see Mr. Procter coming down, and he'd be in sometimes, if he had a cold or something like that, Martin Redinger was a driver, would drive him to work.
I understand he had a car that didn't have any chrome on it?
No, he had, all the chrome was painted black.
Mm-hmm.
Hubcap, the bumper, the radiator, it came from the Packard factory that way. Also, Mrs. Proctor's did also. And I don't know whether he didn't, want all the shiny stuff, but that, in fact, the picture in the paper shows one. Mrs. Procter had a Packard which is painted gunmetal gray, and all the chrome was painted black, and she had a chauffeur, and she kept getting cold and everything like that, and she would always just use a lap robe. Well, my father, being her doctor, said, you get a lap robe. So she got a lap robe, and then eventually they had heaters put in the car. By the way, Mrs. Procter could not drive, so she had an electric car, and it had a series of batteries, and the chauffeur and whatnot would keep it charged up, and so she would drive that to church on Sunday and Wednesday when they had sewing society. And other than that, you did not see them too much in the village. Supposedly, Mr. Procter, in his sports coat, had a pocket full of $5 bills, and in Wyoming they had a speed cop. So every morning, if he was late, why, he was just speeding down there, and the motorcycle policeman would stop him, and he'd hand him a $5 bill, and he'd say, "Okay, Mr. Procter, take it easy," and he'd go on to work. When Mr. Procter died, he was, as far as I know, one of the most well-known owners, managers, and heads of company. Passed away. The house where Johnson's lived, built now. That's where he lived, and they had where you drive under an alcove or whatnot. Well, and then there was a solarium with a sort of a bowed window that you could see. Well, when he passed away, his body was laid out there. They had buses from the Cincinnati Transit came out, and you could park your car any place in the village, and the buses just toured around and took people up there for 3 days.
Thank you, Mr. Allen, for sharing those stories with us. I know
Okay.
other people would be glad to hear them too.